One thing you can do to help out your students in terms of their planning and letting them know when their assessments are going to take place is by creating a agenda. Something that shows them what's going to happen for the week or for the 2 weeks or something along those lines. So I got a couple of examples here that is something you could use. Really simple. If you have a 2 week sample, you just break it up into week 1, week 2 with the dates, and just tell the students what's happening in each day. So you see here, I got Monday, Wednesday, Friday is where we're kind of doing content. Tuesday, Thursday for office hours. Again, not something you necessarily have to do, but this is just kind of the basic plan. A 1 week agenda would look something like this, where we have, just each day with the dates and what's going to happen. You can use any sort of format, but some sort of an agenda is typically helpful for students planning things out. The one thing I wanted to point out is the idea that you can put in when the required assignments are going to be taking place, so students know to plan for that. So even if you don't release that to them because you want them to do some learning up to that point, they'll know when it's going to happen. So for instance, if you give them that 2 week schedule starting on Monday, they're going to know following Wednesday, that's when that required assignment comes out, and they can set aside time or whatever it is to have that done and finish up by Friday. Now, a couple of things you can do to kind of make this easier is linking things to the agenda. So, for instance, we do have the office hours here. So, I'm going to take a look at my little test class here. I have the link to what would be that class's Google Meet. And so, since we can put this in, if I'm not in it, it doesn't matter if I give them a link. So, if I copy this link right over, I can simply come over here to my office hours and just hyperlink this. So it comes in here, we just paste it, apply, there we go. So now the student looks at that and they say, okay, I know there's office hours. I can just click the agenda and go to that. It's not something they have to do that way, and there's no reason that you have to do it that way, but it's one thing that could work. The other thing that's really helpful is you can actually take the assignments here, the stuff that's come through in the stream, where it's a learning task or it's a required assignment, whatever it is, in Classroom, and you can take the link from that. So you click those three buttons right there, hit copy link, and we can link that right into the agenda here. And now the student can go ahead and click right on this thing. So if I go here and I click this, it's going to jump me right to that assignment. So again, not something that has to happen, but something that might be helpful for students, especially if they're struggling with their organization, being out of the classroom and everything like that. It could be pretty helpful. The last thing that would be helpful too is you can take this agenda and not only share it with the students, but share it with the parents. The parents don't necessarily need to see the assignments themselves. So if they were looking at this on their personal email or something like that, or their personal accounts, they couldn't log into your classroom, but they could see, oh, that's when the required assignment's coming out. I know my son or daughter has to do that thing. So if we look at this, if we come up here to share and we go to get shareable link, we can change the settings of this. It always defaults that everybody within our domain can do it. But if we click on here and hit more, we can actually go and say anyone online with the link can do this. We just come down here to save. And now if you take this link right here, if you copy that link and you send that out as a giant blast email through School Tool or whatever system you're using to email parents, all the parents now have access to this agenda. And you can make it so you tell the parents things are going to be changing, the hyperlinks will be added as they come, whatever it is. It's completely up to you how that is set up, but it's a nice way to push that out to let the parents have an idea of what's going on and let the students have an idea of what's going on. So everything's nice and scheduled for them, and they can kind of plan out their weeks in terms of what work is coming and when. So that's just a helpful tip. Hopefully, it makes things a little bit easier for you, a little bit more structured for your students, and a little bit easier for them as well.